Buckle up everybody, we have got a lot to talk about today. Welcome back everyone, it is Figure Friday. I'm Dylan. Today we are reviewing the 1/4 scale Hero Belief Studios Makima statue. This thing is awesome. This is a crazy statue, crazy base, and it's like a 5-in-1. It's got Makima up top and 4 other characters from Chainsawman surrounding her on the base. Let's dig in. Now this is one of the best, if not the best, Makima statue out there on the market. Honestly, in my opinion, I don't think that you're beating this. With the statue plus the base, this thing is crazy cool. Let's take a look at some of the details first of all. She is measuring 60 centimeters tall, 40 centimeters deep, and 44.5 centimeters wide. And she is towering over a lot of the other 1/4 scale statues that I have. Her base adds so much height to her that it kind of dwarfs a lot of the other ones. Now I was able to pick her up for about $1,000 and she still is available on a lot of websites if you poke around the internet a bit, so I think you can get her at MSRP still. I know $1,000 is a lot of money, but for this statue I think it's well worth it. This is the DX version, meaning she does come with the swappable anime head, the alternate body, and a separate base that you can display along with this one if you want to have 2 showing at the same time. I'm always in the mindset of buy once, cry once when it comes to statues. If you're going to spend the money, especially that amount of money on a statue, just save up a little bit longer, get the one you really want. Otherwise, you may be disappointed by spending a lot of money on a statue you don't like later on. Trust me, I've done it. It sucks. Something comes out after you buy a statue and you're like, that one's better. And you have to end up selling or trying to upgrade later on. That's never fun. Now, I mentioned the DX version does come with the alternate head, body, and base. But this statue alone is crazy. Like I said, it's a 5-in-1. You basically get Makima on top, Chainsawman, Angel, Aki, and Reze in the back. It's a lot to ask for and you're getting all of it. Have your cake and eat it too, kind of thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the pose for this statue. I'm a huge fan. Makima's standing over all of the other characters, stomping on Pochita. She's very cocky and arrogant, just like in the anime and the manga. And she's got her chain wrapped around everybody. Not to mention, this is a blood splatter. It's very crazy and dynamic and kind of gory with how much blood and just environment is happening all around. With the pose, I'm a huge fan of all the chains that are flying around. This is a really cool technique where you have a solid piece of chain. It's a little bit flexy, but it attaches at 2 endpoints. And because of that, it looks like it's floating. It looks like it's hanging off in a way that's just kind of soaring or zooming around the character. It adds a lot of creativity and ambiance to this piece in particular. It makes it look like everything is like defying gravity, which is super cool. What I really like about this pose is it creates a scene. A lot of times people will just do museum poses, which is cool, especially if the character is hard to come by. A museum pose is great. But what I really want is to look at a statue and see a scene like it was ripped out of the show. This definitely portrays that. I'm a huge fan. I think they did a great job. The alternate body is the same pose, but it's a little bit breezier. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to drop a like down below. It is completely free and it helps the channel way more than you may think. Now I stand by that this is the best sculpted Makima statue on the market. Not only is the realistic head extremely well done, but the anime head looks great too. If your vibe is to rock more anime style characters, I think the anime head's a great representation. It looks very much like the manga and the anime, and I think if you throw that on here, it looks awesome. I personally prefer more of a realistic head for my statues, and this one is killer. You've got glass eyes, which I am a huge fan of. I think it adds so much life to the character, and then just such a pretty and proportioned sculpt. It looks really, really good. The textures on this statue are next level too. Not only are her clothes all textured, but the transition between the clothes and the fabric, the skin, and then the really glossy blood adds a lot to the statue. It really pops when you're looking at it. Not only that, but all the characters that are underneath Makima are just as well sculpted and just as detailed as her. It's pretty rare to have characters in the base, and it's even more rare to have those characters be just as good as the main one up top. Lastly, for the sculpt, I'm a big fan of the mixed media with the plastic and the metal chains. Makima is holding a metal chain that connects to Pochita's collar, and that bridges really well with all the plastic chains that are floating around her. Just like the rest of the statue, the paint is really good. The differences in all of the textures and finishes, and not to mention the blood splatter, really tie this thing together. I'm really impressed with the level of detail that went into the statue. It's pretty much Prime 1 Studios level. Like, if you took this one and sat it next to Prime 1, you'd be hard pressed to find a difference. If Hero Belief Studios makes statues this good, I would recommend them for every single one that I buy. Now, when a statue is this good, it's really hard to find problems with it, but as always, no statue's perfect. We're gonna get really nitpicky on some of the things that I don't like about this statue. The first one being Aki's tie. All of these ties are just inserted under the collar, and Aki's tie is no different, but his did not want to stay on. They do give you some putty that you can use on the ends of the ties to help them stick inside the shirt collar. I don't really like that. I always think if a statue is meant to be put together, it should either just assemble well or have magnets. I hate using putty on things. I feel like it's a cop-out, like they should have found a different way to do it, but it is what it is. I had to use a little bit on his tie and his only, so it's not that big of a deal, but that is a little bit of a nitpick if I had to pick one. Secondly, even though the clothed and unclothed bodies are the exact same pose, and the chain that Makima is holding is the exact same length, for whatever reason, the chain on the clothed body did not reach Pochita's collar, and I actually had to modify it myself. I went to a craft store and I bought a chain that looked just like the one she's holding, and I had to add like 2 or 3 links for it to fit. I have no idea why it doesn't fit, but I've swapped them back and forth. I've tried all the things that you could try, and they're the same length, but it doesn't fit on this one for whatever reason, so I had to modify it to make it work. Now, if I had a wish list for this statue and had to make any changes, I think the only thing I would really do is swap Angel for Power. Angel's a great character, and I love the wings on this. It adds a lot to the statue base, but Power is one of the main 3 characters. You got Denji, you got Aki, and Reize in the back, but no Power? That seems funny to me. And I know technically timeline-wise in the show, this probably makes more sense, but I would rather have Power, just being a fan of the main 3 characters, and then obviously the beginning portion of the anime has all 3 of them hanging out together as well. All right, guys, I could talk about this statue at length. There's a lot to go over, but I know what you're really here for. Here is the money shot for Hero Belief Studios 1/4 scale Makima.
We do it, yeah, I go up. We influence, yeah, see me moving, yeah, I glow up. Every time I show up, I can flip my switch out. They act like they know us, but they know dog on big dog. Asking if it's still a flex, say they better go ask Booyah. Never think I'm gon' check, better pull up like woo. Come to place and I'm the best, I ain't worried about none who y'all. 24, no rest, stand on business, I'm too tall. SOS, thought you was a threat. I do real life, do no tip for tat on the internet. When we do that, see I've been a threat and I've been a vet. Thought you knew that way, I'm cashing checks. I don't owe no debts, I've been through that, see you SOS.
This is a killer statue from top to bottom. It's hard to beat something this detailed, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. I hope you guys enjoyed the review today. If you did, please consider dropping a like on this video, consider subscribing. Here is a sneak peek for next week, and I will see you all in the next Figure Friday.